Okay, so my name's Pete Knutson. I'm an adjunct professor here at University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. I teach in the English department and in CJ as well. And the course that you guys are going to be coming to today is the Blugold seminar, which is specifically RIT 114, but there's 4 different versions of that. So the course is really an introductory writing class, but it's a little bit different than that in that I really think it's more about critical thinking and your ability to apply certain ideas to certain contexts and be able to write about them, make arguments effectively. And so that's what we really focus on in the course in general. And so right now we're talking about rhetoric and doing rhetorical analysis. And so in particular we're trying to figure out how messages work and how they work effectively on audiences from rhetors or people who are trying to persuade us. So that's really what the course objective is and what specifically what we're dealing with over the next few weeks in the course. So we're kind of at the beginning of talking about rhetoric and what rhetoric is and what the characteristics of rhetoric are. Rhetoric kind of has maybe a connotation with people. We think of rhetoric being something political, maybe having some sort of negative connotation, lying, that kind of thing. And so part of this is to kind of put students in an academic mindset of what rhetoric is and how the different ways in which people try to persuade us are based in strategies, are based in theory, and based in those kind of ideas. So this lecture in particular is to introduce students to that, to let them see a couple of different examples of how that works. And how different audiences are persuaded or try to be persuaded by different groups of people who have different interests as well, all surrounding one example that we use in class. So that's really what we're trying to do, is trying to show how do these people try to persuade. What do they use as the most effective means? Do they use humor? Do they use ethos, pathos, and logos, which are some ideas that we'll talk about. So all types of things that we try to focus on early on talking about.
Testing ideas, right? It assists in advocacy, so our persuasive claims help us to advocate for that particular position, whether it's Dan Snyder making the claim that the team is based in tradition and that they're trying to honor Native Americans, right? How do they advocate for that? They have to do it through a persuasive way, right? They have to prove that claim, just like the other side of this issue has to prove that it is offensive. Okay, there are plenty of arguments that you saw here that kind of show that as well.
Particular lecture, I like them to take away kind of an idea of how rhetoric is responsive, how it exists especially in 2017, how it exists in a world of almost instantaneous real-time response, whether that's through social media or feedback of any kind in that way. And so, once you put something out into the world, people will consume it and react to it. And I think we see that more and more now with the, again, instantaneous nature of social media. So from this course in particular, I want them to be able to see that. From the course in general, I mean, kind of like I said at the beginning, I mean, this is really about critical thinking, being able to analyze sources, to be able to analyze what messages are coming your way and to be critical about them and to use your brain and think about how those kind of things work. So that's kind of my goals and what I want them to take away from the course.